Hello wonderful people. Thank you for making time to watch this video. In this video we shall talk about coffee. What really happens when drinking coffee daily? When people think of coffee, they usually think of its ability to provide an energy boost. However, according to some research, it can also offer some other important health benefits. Before we continue, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more health tips. Thank you. Experts worldwide estimate that people consume around 2.25 billion cups of coffee per day. Wild coffee plants, probably from Coffea, Ethiopia, were taken to southern Arabia and placed under cultivation in the 15th century. One of many legends about the discovery of coffee is that of Kaldi, an Arab goatherd who was puzzled by the strange antics of his flock. About 850 Common Era, Kaldi supposedly sampled the berries of the evergreen bush on which the goats were feeding and, on experiencing a sense of exhilaration, proclaimed his discovery to the world. Whatever the actual origin of coffee, its stimulating effect undoubtedly made it popular. Ironically, though Islamic authorities pronounced the drink intoxicating and therefore prohibited by the Quran, many Muslims were attracted to the beverage as a substitute for alcohol, also prohibited by the Quran. Despite the threat of severe penalties, coffee drinking spread rapidly among Arabs and their neighbors and even gave rise to a new social and cultural entity, the coffeehouse. Coffee contains a number of useful nutrients, including riboflavin, vitamin B2, niacin, vitamin B3, magnesium, potassium, and various phenolic compounds, or antioxidants. Some experts suggest that these and other ingredients in coffee can benefit the human body in various ways. This video looks at the possible health benefits of drinking coffee, the evidence supporting those benefits, and the risks of drinking coffee. Health benefits of drinking coffee. Diabetes. Coffee may help protect against type 2 diabetes. In 2014, researchers who gathered data on over 48,000 people found that those who increased their coffee consumption by at least 1 cup per day over 4 years had an 11% lower risk of type 2 diabetes than those who did not increase their intake. A 2017 meta-analysis concluded that people who drank 4 to 6 cups of either caffeinated or decaffeinated coffee each day appeared to have a lower risk of metabolic syndrome, including type 2 diabetes. Parkinson's disease. Various studies have suggested that caffeine, which is present in coffee and many other beverages, may help protect against Parkinson's disease. One team concluded that men who drink over 4 cups of coffee per day might have a 5-fold lower risk of Parkinson's disease than those who do not. The findings of the 2017 meta-analysis suggested a link between coffee consumption and a lower risk of Parkinson's disease, even among people who smoke. This team also found that people who drink coffee may be less likely to experience depression and cognitive conditions such as Alzheimer's disease. However, there was not enough evidence to prove that drinking decaffeinated coffee helps prevent Parkinson's disease. Cancer. In 2019, a literature concluded that coffee intake is likely to reduce the risk of liver cancer. Earlier, in 2015, a cohort study of a multi-ethnic population in the United States suggested that depending on the dose, consuming 2 to 3 cups of coffee daily reduced the participants' risk of developing hepatocellular carcinoma and chronic liver disease, CLD, by 38% and 46%, respectively. The meta-analysis from 2017 also concluded that consuming any type of coffee appears to reduce the risk of liver cancer, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and cirrhosis. These findings are now bolstered by a 2021 study, suggesting that consuming all types of coffee may offer some protection against CLD. Liver diseases. People who consume coffee may also have a lower risk of gallstone disease. In 2014, researchers looked at coffee consumption among people with primary sclerosing cholangitis, PSC, and primary biliary cirrhosis, PBC. These are autoimmune conditions that affect the bile ducts in the liver. They found that people with PSC were more likely to have a lower coffee intake than those without the condition. There was no evidence to suggest that coffee intake was different among people with or without PBC. Also, another 2014 study suggested a link between coffee consumption and a lower risk of dying from non-viral hepatitis-related cirrhosis. The researchers suggested that drinking 2 or more cups of coffee every day might reduce the risk by heart health. The 2017 meta-analysis found that caffeine consumption may have at least a small benefit for cardiovascular health, including blood pressure. In a 2018 study, researchers found that drinking 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day may reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease by 15%. Drinking 1 to 5 cups daily also seem to be associated with lower overall mortality resulting from any cause. For those people who have already experienced a heart attack, drinking coffee does not appear to increase their risk of experiencing another or dying as a result. The 2017 meta-analysis, however, also found that there may be higher levels of blood lipids, fat, and cholesterol in people who consume more coffee. These substances may predispose a person to heart problems. Obesity. There is some evidence suggesting that consuming coffee may help people lose weight. One 2018 paper indicated that the more coffee the participants drank, the higher their mean reduction in weight, body mass index, BMI, and fat mass. Some risk of coffee. Although coffee may provide some benefits in reducing obesity, it is not a substitute for eating a balanced diet and exercising often. Although consuming caffeine may offer some benefits, there can be negative side effects if a person drinks too much of it. Drinking a lot of coffee can also have some adverse effects. These may include the following. Bone fractures. Some studies have suggested that women who drink a lot of coffee may have a higher risk of bone fractures. Men with a higher coffee intake, on the other hand, appear to have a slightly lower risk. Complications during pregnancy. Coffee consumption may also not be safe during pregnancy. In fact, there is some evidence to suggest a link between high coffee consumption and pregnancy loss, low birth weight, and preterm birth. Endometriosis. There may be a higher risk of endometriosis among women who drink coffee, but there is not enough evidence to confirm such a link. Gastroesophageal reflux disease. People who drink a lot of coffee may have a slightly higher risk of this condition. Anxiety. Consuming high amounts of caffeine may increase the risk of anxiety, especially among people with panic disorder or social anxiety disorder. Less commonly, caffeine may trigger mania and psychosis in those who are susceptible. Mental health conditions. One study from 2016 concluded that a high intake of caffeine during adolescence could lead to permanent changes in the brain. The scientists behind the study expressed concern that this could increase the risk of anxiety-related conditions in adulthood. Exposure to toxic ingredients. In 2015, a group of researchers found relatively high levels of mycotoxins in commercial coffee. Mycotoxins are toxic substances that can contaminate coffee as a natural product. Some people worry that acrylamide, which is another chemical present in coffee, may be dangerous. Please always seek medical attention before consuming coffee. Please support us by subscribing to this channel for more videos in relation to health. Thank you. Bye for now.